Hello, my name is Chris from TGIK Games, and today we are going to play a couple rounds of Mars 445 for you to watch. We've just kicked Aiden out of the room because he's working on his day job on a Saturday morning, and BJ and I are going to play a two-player game. I'm on the right in the green Reptar shirt, and BJ is on the left in the red shirt. Go Team Green. And starting off with a setup, you can see I have and I assure you that we will do another video that's closer. It gives you a better view of the cards, but we just wanted to give you a brief overview of how a two-player game worked, of what a two-player game looked like. And I have my 15 face-down cards. Those are my back-ordered supplies. And I have my 3 face-up columns, which are my warehouse shelves. And the area in between BJ and I is the factory floor, and that's where we're going to be playing our various units and building them together. So even though we're not playing together, I shouldn't have worded it like that. We'd be playing on units at the same time, but we are racing to complete the units first. Now what I'm frantically doing right now is I'm looking for the reference cards because we have accidentally left them in the deck before, and while we don't need the reference cards anymore, they do sometimes get left in the decks of cards. And that's kind of a pain when you get halfway through your on-hand supplies, which, if you look on my left hand, those are the cards that are left over after setup, and those are your on-hand supplies. So somebody's going to say go, and we're going to start flipping cards. So we take the top 3 cards, turn them over, just like solitaire, and when somebody gets a 1, you can start a unit. And as you can see, we start building on the same unit. Now, you want, in theory, to have the most cards in each unit possible. There are methods of play where you can actually have no cards in your colony, but we'll cover that in another video. The point of this video is to actually give you kind of a rough visual idea of what the heck is supposed to be going on, because we've found in playtesting there is being able to describe the chaos is difficult, or can be difficult, but once you show somebody the chaos, then they totally understand what's supposed to be happening. And as you can see there, once I clear a working shelf, I flip over a card from my back-ordered supplies, and I'm frantically building. Now, actually, I cheated right there. That should be a 7, but it's a 6, so I've actually cheated, and I don't know it. And I'll tell you why, because at the time, I had a 7 on top of my play cards, and I just forgot to play it. So in my head, I thought I had a complete unit, but I didn't. And that was my mistake, and I will lose 10 points later because of it. So, the goal of this game is to actually complete. We're building a colony to Mars. It's going to Mars, and we need to complete various modules. The various modules are resources, science, exploration, and power. And so the power module are the yellow cards. We need 3 of those. The science module are the green cards. We need 2 of those. We need 1 exploration, which is the red, and we need 1 resource module, which are the blue cards. Now, to end a round, you call launch, which is what I've done. And so the round ends, and we collect all the cards in the middle, and that becomes the pile, those blue face-up cards you can see there. And now that will be counted later. And what BJ and I are doing is we're separating our cards. And what I'm going to realize here very shortly is that I have a completed resource module, but I do not have the required launch card. And a launch card is what is used to signify the end of a unit, and you take it off of the factory floor. Now here I am looking through, where did I must have skipped it. I don't ever skip the launch cards, but apparently maybe I did this time. Nope, it's not in my colony cards. It's not in my scorecards either. Huh, this is a problem. Nope, you're not going to find it, Chris. Nope, you can look again. You're still not going to find it. Well, I've cheated. And there they are. Great. And I just lost 10 points off of my army. That's the penalty for calling launch when you don't have a complete colony. So BJ did the same thing. His colony was smaller, so he only has 3 or 4 cards over there. And now I'm going to, so you separate your launch cards, which are your colony points, and then you separate your colony cards, which are the cards left over. And that's what I'm doing right now. And the idea is whoever has the most cards in your colony at the end, if it's you and it's your army, or if it's your colony, then you get to keep all the points. if somebody else or anybody else has more cards in your colony, they get 10 of your points. So we didn't actually keep score in this game. We were just doing this for visual example purposes. So normally we would be writing down the score and keeping track of who had taken points from who. I don't even think BJ kept track of who was. I don't remember him telling me if I sabotaged him in this round. But as you can see, it's getting serious now, and he's taken off his sweater. So we're gonna shuffle here, and something I really enjoy about this game is that once you learn the flow of the game, the flow feels natural, the flow feels quick, and the flow never takes away from the fun of the game. The flow, like we talk about flow in our podcast in one episode, and what I don't think we mentioned was what is the flow outside of the gameplay itself. And the flow outside of gameplay, like the flow is pretty chaotic depending on the number of players you have. Like 4 to 6 players is just fun chaos in this game. But the flow outside of game, once you get from scoring and reset up like we're doing now, once you know how to do it, it's fun. It's fun in itself. I mean, it's fun to me, but there's an enjoyment to it. It's just, okay, this feels right. That's the best way I can put it. Now, we are playing with plastic cards in this game, so you're actually going to see very early on in this round kind of one of the side effects of having plastic cards, where plastic cards are really awesome, but they do have a couple drawbacks. And in this case, they go sliding across this table pretty well. I think it wouldn't be an issue on felt or any sort of fabric-covered table, but in this case, I'm going to try and put a card down, and it's going to go woo across the table. There it goes. And I got the unit anyways. So I may have cheated there. Yeah, I may have cheated there. I think one of the cards on my working shelves actually slid over, and I flipped over a different card from my backorder supplies. Oh well. That's okay. If BJ sees this, I'm sure he'll give me a hard time about it later. So, whoa. So play will continue, and as long as you have a 1, here's the important thing to understand about this game. There is no limit to the number of units that can be active on the factory floor at any given time. If there are 50 active units, that's okay. It'll probably never happen. The most you'll probably ever get is 15 or 20, which is still a lot, but you'll never see 50. It's just the hyperbole I always try and throw at our playtesters whenever we play this game with them. But, yeah, I mean, I wish there was more to say, but it's a really straightforward game, and I think that's why I love it so much. There's a good flow to it. It's simple. Once you pick it up, anybody can really play it. It's I think something you need to be aware of are if there's a wide gap in kind of speed or dexterity level. I think that's something you might want to look out for. Oh, actually, if you saw there, I placed one card on top of another in my working shelves. As long as they're different colors and the order goes down, just like solitaire, that's okay. You can do that. Another thing is if you have one of your working shelves is empty and one of your play cards, that's when I flip over. Oh, am I going to call launch here? I don't remember if this is the end. I'm still looking for something. Right, those are my play cards that you see I just turned face up. If you have a launch card on top of your play cards, you can use that to fill an empty working shelf. I think in this particular game I think BJ had a hard time getting a lot of his cards to the table. I haven't been watching it. I have to admit that I just called launch. There is I don't remember what I was going to admit. What was I going to say? I don't remember. Oh, I remember now. It is absolutely fascinating watching myself play this game. And because it's something that we've always wanted to do and should have done, but we're only getting to it now. But it's fascinating to watch. Just watch yourself play a game. The thing you look at, like the thing I noticed most was every time I play a card, I get ready to grab it, regardless of what the card is. It's an interesting habit that I've developed, and I think it actually helps a lot. One of these days, I'll have to watch and focus on BJ's side, or maybe I'll have to move the camera over to his side next time and get a good view on how he plays the game. So, the waste pile. I don't think I mentioned the waste pile in the first round. The waste pile gets separated, and whoever has the most cards in the waste cards are cards left over after somebody calls launch. When those are turned over and separated, and whoever has the most cards in the waste pile loses 5 points. Actually, I'm playing with the waste pile right now. And one of us is going to get minus 5 points, but we're not keeping score. If you call launch, you also get positive 5 points. So there you have it. That was 2 rounds. That was pretty quick. And the average game lasts about 4 to 6 rounds, somewhere in that range. So it's a quick game, pretty easy to pick up, and it can be frantic fun. It can be chaotic fun. There's even, once you get into the flow of the game, there's a lot of strategy that can be involved. So before this video ends, just wanted to say thank you for watching and be on the lookout for more. We will definitely have more videos. This is just our first as an example, and I hope you find it interesting. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us at TGIK Games. We're on Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook, and I guess we'll see you in the next video.